The first thing I remember is darkness. And then, blinding light. I felt a sharp pain in my head, and above all else, scorching, all-encompassing heat. My first thought was the absolute certainty that if I stayed here, under this blinding heat, that would be it for me. The box I found myself in was no shelter at all, and even the darkest, coolest corner of it offered almost no relief. Outside the box was even hotter and even brighter. Even if leaving seemed unbelievable, even if it seemed nothing but unpleasant, and even if I didn't have the faintest clue of what salvation would look like, all I knew was that if I stayed in this box, then that would be the end of me for sure. So, despite only having a memory spanning minutes, I gathered all the courage I had and went outside. By some miracle, a wonderful human lady found me and brought me home. As it turned out, she knew what she was doing when she nursed me back to health. She worked as a scientist who worked with animals. I appreciated her so much. And then one day, when these grateful feelings were at their strongest, I learned about something interesting I could do. I could change my shape and look like a human. It was a lot of fun. And it was around that time when I first started to learn about my favorite thing, the wonders of human creative expression. I got totally sucked into watching shows. But even though I was having a great time, that wonderful lady would later tell me that this was a tough time for her. She searched everywhere she could think of, but she could not find a single other land slug like me. So she could only conclude that I was an undiscovered species. I could be useful to science. She probably even felt a duty to write a paper on me and submit her findings. But I was the only one like me she knew about. She didn't even know where my natural habitat was. And if I became a specimen, I'd be killed. And so began my long journey of pretending to be a human. The wonderful lady, well, it's not spoilers at this point. She became my mom. She worked very hard to teach me how to speak, how to read, and all sorts of other things. Over years and years, I grew to love stories and crafts and video games. I went to school and even graduated. I had all I needed to live my life as a human, even on my own. I even lived in Japan for a few years, all by myself. The possibilities for the future seemed endless. But then Mom! The future seemed clouded in impenetrable fog. I really felt like my life was over. I spent a long time alone. And then one day, I had a realization. I did have a future. The answer was with me all along. One huge question had hung over my entire life. And there was a lot about my own nature that I didn't even know. There was something I could do, just not here. And that's why I journeyed to the Pacific Northwest. I learned the difference between gastropods and gastropubs, and I experienced so many new things like delicious craft beer. I met so many fellow slugs for the first time. I'm still doing my best to visit them and get to know them regularly, but honestly, a lot of them are pretty boring conversation partners. Don't tell them I said that. And the best thing that happened to me is that I befriended a kind musician. He ended up adopting me, and now I call him Dad. And that leads us to today. Even if I never find out about my species or where I come from, I like to think that my bright colors are meant to attract like-minded people to me, rather than to keep predators away. It's only through the help of kind humans that I've been able to survive. And so I want to share my love of games and stories and art with all you wonderful humans out there as your new crafting, streaming slug.